Welcome to the channel, guys. It's the Eradicator, and today we will try to identify the various new panels that will be making the Star Citizen convention of this year, Citizencon, which has been cancelled, obviously, so we're gonna have a digital version with a bunch of panels. But what are those panels going to be about? Well, we'll try to figure it out, right? So I think that first we will have obviously a panel with Paul Randall and Chet McKinney, who are going to be talking to us about the progress made on server meshing as well as the persistent entity streaming. I think that by the time of the convention, Star Citizen 3.18 should have been out, so that's why we should perhaps have a recap of everything that has been done over the past 2 years regarding persistent entity streaming. And I think that overall it's also going to be giving us maybe a preview of the potential that this technology is going to be bringing to the game. As far as server meshing is concerned, I would really like to see how two servers are going to be able to mesh, how players will transition from one server to another, and perhaps also how they're going to allow players to transition from a Stanton server all the way to a Pyro server. If we could see that in engine, I think that it will make a much more interesting panel than what we saw last year. Next, I cannot imagine that we are not going to have a panel without Tony Zurovec, who will be talking to us about Quantum and its evolution. Obviously, Quantum has been active since 3.17. It's the very beginning of Quantum. It's all about the price of certain commodities like fuel, for example, but also vehicle rentals as well. But we should expect that the system should be extended to other entities. But to know what's in store, obviously, there's only going to be one person who will tell us about those, and that's going to be the man himself, Tony Zurovec. And I do believe that we're going to be seeing some interesting development as well, especially now that AI are going to be able to fly in atmosphere. They'll be able to walk us out of their ships. They'll be able to take off and land. I really believe that eventually we will see AI buying and selling commodities out the outpost, especially with the cargo refactor in the future, and because, well, we're gonna need server meshing for that, and especially we're going to be able to see those NPCs buying and selling goods based on the supply and demand, based on the simulation from Quantum. So that's going to be some really exciting development, and I would love to have some videos again or some visuals about the future of Quanta in Star Citizen. I also believe that we are going to have a follow-up on base creation. That was a surprise panel from last year. I really did not expect to see that in last year's Citizencon, but they are creating their own UI for base building, because players are eventually going to be building their own outposts, especially players who do own a Pioneer from Consolidated Outline. Obviously, what we saw last year was very early work in progress, but I would love to see how that progress has evolved, and maybe, you know, eventually see how they're going to be placing, how players are going to be able to place their own outposts with either the traditional outpost architecture that we see on Stanton or the Pyro architecture as well. Next, speaking of the Pioneer, well, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be talking about ships as well, and we are going to have a ship panel. It's a classic. We always have a ship panel. Why not maybe a ship shape? It's been a long time since Jared hasn't done one of those, and it will be an ideal time to tell us what is in the pipeline, which ships are in development, where they are, maybe have a little follow-up on some of the most popular ships like the Padu Merchantman, but maybe other ones like the Genesis Starliner, the Polaris, and of course progress on the Envil Legionnaire, which was recently unveiled by Cloud Imperium Games. Just like what we saw last year we had a panel about rivers. I would like the same engineers to come on and this time talk about lava and roads, because, well, roads are going to be very important for trade between landing zones and remote outposts on planet side. I'm pretty sure NPCs will be driving ground vehicles on those, players as well, and they're going to be awesome for racing too. I don't like racing on open terrain or dirt terrain. I like road racing, and it's gonna bring a lot of potential for those, and that's what I'm excited about, and I hope to see more in this year's Citizencon. Now, we talked about the panels that were here last year, but could we see actual new panels coming in this year as well with some surprises? Well, it's possible. There are a few features that Cloud Imperium Games talked about in the past, but that have disappeared from radars. I'm thinking about fauna, for example. You know, where have the pyro crabs been? And what about Macrotech's Yeti or the Terra cow? I think that with AI planetary navigation, it would be possible to put those animals in the game, and it could be a great time to talk about those. And speaking of AI, obviously a lot of work has been done on AI. They're able to do more tasks, and with server meshing, the AI is going to be working much better. It will be possible to have crews in our ships. We know that they'll be able to take many roles, like maybe they'll do the maintenance of the ship, or they'll be engineers. It would be great to have a little follow-up, as well as perhaps some visuals, maybe in-game visuals of where we are at right now. I would also love to have a better idea of where we will be going once Pyro and Nyx will be released, because yes, Star Citizen 4.0 will give us access to Pyro. We also know that the Nyx system is well on the way. Perhaps it's already finished at this time. So what's going to come after? I don't believe it's too early to talk about it, and I am pretty sure that Cloud Imperium Games have already identified the next star systems that we'll be able to explore in the future, and maybe they'd like to talk about this. I think that will be wonderful. And finally, perhaps we could have a panel about the game environment. We know that Star Citizen will have destructible environments or inflammable environments. The developers have already worked on fire propagation already. Where are they? How far are we along? I would like to know that as well. So there we go. These are some of the panels that I would like to see during this year's Citizencon, which, well, we're going to say again that it's not going to have a demo, but perhaps it's going to compensate the disappointment with more interesting content with those presentation panels. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Do you have any other ideas for panels? Perhaps you'd like them to talk about Squadron 42, which, after all, it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of the Kickstarter campaign, so it will be great to talk about Squadron 42 a little bit, right? I know that it's maybe not in the program, but who knows? Maybe they'll decide to give us a little surprise. Let me know in the comment section down below. You know that we have a giveaway this month. We are giving away a MISC experience with LTI. Answer the question, subscribe in public settings. Also, a big shout out to all my supporters on Patreon or via the YouTube Join membership programs. You guys are really making all of this regular content possible on all 3 channels, so thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much to the DJ Dunn, Captain Snake, Eric Ohm, Dr. Forbin, and Geek Citizen. To thank you all, guys, you'll have access to exclusive content, but also my Discord channel, where there's another giveaway there. It's another MISC expense. I will see you guys tomorrow for more content on the channel. This is the Eradicator. I will see you guys later. A huge shout out to everyone who's been helping me out on Patreon and via the YouTube Join membership program. Creating content on YouTube involves continuous circles of ups and downs, and it is when we are the lower parts of the curve that your help really motivates me to keep on going. Your contribution really does make a difference, which is why in return I try to give back by offering backers access to my private Discord channel, automatic access to exclusive giveaways, or answering your questions during the show. You can help me out with as little as $1 a month, and any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching again. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.